That's true though.
Wow, yeah, bare time has gone by. Anyone taking in this Central album?
We've got time. Yes.
You have listened to it, yeah? Pro, have you? It's not your thing, is it?
It's not really my thing.
Yeah,
Man. But shout him
I thought
out,
so.
getting crazy. Unfortunately, no.
Why?
No.
Why would you?
I know it's not for me, so why am I gonna just like?
I respect that.
Like, I rate my man, I rate what he's doing, but I can appreciate from the packaging and everything. Look at me, bro.
Because you know what it is. Sorry, I cut you.
But all I said was, look at me. I'm wearing a cardigan. Like, I don't look like a Central Cee listener, do I? Really?
I don't like. Respectfully, I'm just not a little baby fan like that. So I'm probably not gonna just try.
Yeah,
Unless you tell me, unless somebody came in the room one day and said, "No, bro, trust me, this one you gotta give it a go." Then I will. I'll jump in my car and I'll go and listen to it. But other than that, if it comes out on Friday, I'm probably not gonna listen to it. But I did listen to this, and I liked it. I liked it a lot more than I thought I did. Congratulations to Bello as well, Central's manager. Reason why I wanted to highlight him is because I follow him on Instagram, yeah, and I look a lot at his Insta posts because he's quite active in like his thought processes. I feel like he has a lot of things on his mind, and he sometimes goes on Instagram and he sort of lays down what he's trying to do and the plans, and like, I don't know, it's just he breaks down a lot of very interesting stuff. And over that time period of watching him, seeing somebody have a plan, writing it down and sharing elements of it, and then a couple of years later, you're starting to see how it's playing out. I just think it's quite a sick thing. Adding to the fact that he used to manage Rimsey before, I don't know if you know that. He was a manager of Rimsey. I just feel like he's made some really cold moves and used his brain in such an interesting way. A man who's come from the road. I love to see somebody like getting that level of success with something that is good as well. Do you know what I mean? Get the track list.
I like the fact Young Spray was using the intro.
Oh yeah, big up Spray as well.
That made me happy.
I think they went to a football game or something like that,
NFL, him.
NFL game.
Chip and Central Cee. I just like Central Cee
like
comes across as very normal to me.
Yeah.
Very,
St.
very
Patrick's, GBP, Toy Freestyle. By the way, the production on St. Patrick's is cold, by the way.
Top 3 up north is kind of cold as well.
I don't know if I like that one.
No, shout out Cole Palmer,
really
I saw that.
catchy.
And shout out whatever button they push for Central Cee.
Yeah.
That button's crazy.
10 with Skepta, hard. And I like the fact that as well, that they didn't try to do anything like, I don't know. I just wouldn't have wanted to hear like a down tempo thing or anything like that with Skepta. I want to hear 140. Live. I want to hear 140 authentic. You get what I'm saying? That. Like, I want to hear that Skep. You get me?
He's got a boy better no tap. He'll do that.
Yeah, of course. And what else? What else did I like? I can't remember what else I liked. Oh yeah, I kind of. Do you know what? At first, I didn't even really love that Young Dirk rhythm. I didn't even really like it. You know, the flip, the So Sick flip, and that. I just thought, I don't know if I love that.
Like it now?
Yeah, when I listened to it in the whip and I started blasting it, I was like, you know what? I like it. I like the fact that they didn't. It would have been so easy for them to go and just do a whole another trappy type thing, but they didn't. They did something different. And it makes me think, when I listen to the song, yeah, it does make me think that the Dirk situation has been, unfortunately, a big hindrance to what they were probably trying to plan to do. Because that song there, I think they would have pressed the extra button on that. See that button that you're talking about? And in bridging the gap with Dirk being incredibly certified from where he's come from, but also knowing that Dirk is, you know, it's been documented that he's on changing his life a lot. He's been trying to make certain types of moves or whatever. I think for the both of them, it would have just been a sick moment. And then we would have probably saw a lot of moments of like Dirk pulling up at shows and whatever. Especially like Dirk was here quite recently. That was the first time I think he'd ever been to the UK. So you know that, you know, a festival would have happened, Central would have been doing that, Dirk would have come out, it would have been another one of those big moments or whatever. That definitely is not going to be happening anytime soon. Unless Dirk finds a way to bust that case. And boy, the way that one's looking, I don't know about that.
Can I say this quickly? So, he is expected to sell 35k first week.
Yeah.
And chart number 9. And somebody tweeted on Billboard, first week sales only reflect US activity. This figure does not account for global streams or sales. Historically, UK rap acts have never been able to break through here. This is impressive achievement. So remember, you lot said who would be likely to break the US.
This is my only thing. Yeah, my only thing is that like, I'm always personally just me. There's a personal thing for me. It's always hard for me to have numbers conversations.
Oh no, I'm just
always. And I know that you're not trying to do that. The reason being is because I'm always just from the point of, is it good? Do I like it? And then we can sit and have conversation about impact. With impact, yeah, there is an argument to say that when something sells a lot, that there is an element of impact in there, but that isn't always necessarily the case. Like, somebody can sell a lot of music and not necessarily have like strong impact in culture in the way that I particularly like. So usually when people do the numbers element stuff, like, I just stand back and watch it. Here's my bias though. The only time that I am probably a little bit more invested in numbers is if it is with somebody, an artist that like if I have some type of involvement with them. So let's say it could be my best mate who manages an artist, or it could be poet who manages so-and-so, or whatever, yeah. It's like, naturally, first and foremost, it needs to be good. But the numbers element, I'll pay attention to because I know that in some way can translate into financial gain that helps my friend set his family up. So from that point, I'm always going to be like, yeah, okay, cool. But outside of that, you see it selling this, that, and the fourth, that does absolutely nothing to me.
That's let's say, assuming, I don't know when they say it sells 35, how many people have listened to it. But if that is 35,000 people, then that's 35,000 people that have also been exposed to Skepta and to Dave.
Yeah, that may not necessarily. But this is the thing, yeah. Time, like, because I wanted to bring up what Semtex was saying. Semtex went online and he was talking about, this is the greatest one. Well, no, he didn't say this is. He said one of the greatest UK rap albums of all time. I think it's way, way, way too early to say that, purely because, again, this is my opinion, is that over time, you will be able to see the ripple effects of what this does, if it does something. Because maybe what could happen is, there's two sides to this, isn't it? One side could be, you know what? Cinch alone goes through the roof and he has a moment by himself, and it's just like, he tours all over the place, he makes another shitload of money, and that's great for him, it's great for his family, and whatever else, yeah? But really, it doesn't do anything for anyone else. Right. Do you get what I'm saying? It don't do nothing for, okay, yeah, you can say this person featured on the album or whatever, but what did it do for culture? What did it do? Or you can give it some time and you can say, looking back, you know what? People started dressing like this, it changed that, it changed this person started to come true, the doors started to open, all of these different... That's when I believe you can turn around and say that. So when I look at some of my personal favorites, yeah, let's say A Little Deeper by Miss Dynamite. Yes, it didn't sell the same as what Central has done, but if you look at the cultural context, so the scene was very different at that time. Yeah. But what she actually did, she sold a lot, but what she actually did, how that penetrated culture. There are so many girls that will turn around and say, I wanted to dress like her. I wanted to be like her. I just wanted to, do you get what I'm saying? Like,
she was like everyone's older cousin.
Everyone's.
Slow down.
And so now we can look back at that with like fond moments and say, this is why it's important that we talk. This is why this pod in particular, I always like to reminisce about certain things, because a lot of people forget about that. Like, people will come out and say, no disrespect, but they'll come out, something will happen one day and they will just say, this is the greatest thing that ever. And then sometimes you have to turn around and say, well, boy, I remember when Kano, you know what I mean? I remember when Dizzy, you know, I remember when Estelle, like, those conversations have to be thrown in that too. So But that's not for me to put any disdain on that. I'm just saying we have to give that time before we could ever say anything about that.
Also,
Unless, sorry, bro, it's my last thing. Unless your only argument and premise of what is great is based upon number. And if that is, then that's you.
I think, honestly, oversaturation confuses people on what they like or not. And I think I've now seen what Joe Budden and Kanye West have been talking about for the past 5-6 years. This is not to take away from the product. This is to not say the product's not good and not what it needs to be and all of that. I think this is all incredible, bro. This is sick. But a button's been pressed because an investment's been made. So when you're crediting certain things, it's very difficult for me to tell if you are crediting the button being pushed or the product. A lot of people can't tell the difference. Only in time you can tell the difference. Like Bashi's album, that's something for culture for me. Something very, very, very remarkable for culture. Even his comeback and the way in which he's done it. Him and Scorcher, especially, for me, are a product of culture. Very much so, and you see why they're significant figures. Because when they come back, they're embraced. It's like you can leave. It's almost like religion. You don't have to say to God, please, can I be a Christian? You just go to church and you do your thing and you're a Christian. And you live by and that's what this culture does. Whereas the place that Central CEE'S is very unforgiving. It's very unforgiving. So I understand why he has to say the numbers and he has to be in all the spaces because it's to play that game. And it's very difficult to see when you're playing that game, the impact on culture, because your loyalty isn't really within culture, it's within the numbers situation, which is so far removed from culture. So when people are making these statements like Chuckie said, I think it speaks to excitement, which we should be excited.
Yeah, definitely.
But it does speak to a little bit of you have an agenda when people are this excited, especially when you've been around here for a little while. I've no problem saying these things. You've seen practices happen. You've seen people get big. You've seen people. And now that I've just seen the Drake thing, and Drake released a song called No Face, and you can check the credits. Octavian's produced it. Go check the credits.
Swear.
Go check the credits. This is what I'm trying to say to people. Let's go take a look at stuff a little bit deeper, like the album. Let's go take a look at stuff a little bit deeper. When the world's not looking, you didn't even know that. Why? Because the button's not being pushed.
Right. Can I do?
Is it true? Go take a look.
Can I do Angel's Advocate while he's checking?
Of course. But that's not to take. I don't want to take away from his success.
No.
But this is just a manipulation of numbers and all of that. I just decided to step away from it.
It doesn't even say.
I'll send you it to you.
You once. Oh, not once. You multiple times you said this, whereby you said that like it's all about the next generation and like they have the ideas and they're the best. They're the best, right? So, would you say, objectively speaking, it'd be difficult with this question, but objectively speaking, would you say there's a generational bias when it comes to the new gen doing their thing? Do you think that?
In what sense?
You need to be a bit more specific because
I'm gonna specify. So in terms of like we are from a time of noticing that the culture was taken advantage of, still being taken advantage of, and you see those people who stay true to their culture breaking through, doing what they got to do, giving back to the community, doing X, Y, Z, and then this new generation is doing what they can do because doors have been closed, and if a door is opened, who are they to deny the door being open or the button being pressed in this case? So like, do you think there's a generational bias from the older generation looking down at the younger generation?
I think they just don't know how to speak to each other. EA Sports is like this, yeah. The best example of a black man doesn't have to do anything for black people. He's already done it. And what I mean by that is, if you are an individual from culture, and I've never seen somebody like you, so let's use Dizzy Rascal, I've never seen somebody like you open up for Jay-Z, you don't have to do anything anymore. You've basically was the example of a council estate you that opened up for Jay-Z at Wembley, off the premise of making things like I Love You and authentic. That's something we can all relate to. So then all of a sudden, I'm looking at a man do stuff that I'm capable of doing in a different way, and achieving. And it's not too far removed from what I was doing. A little bit like when Chuckie was growing up, he must have looked at certain DJs from his ends doing their thing like, I can do that. Now that is how you inspire, and that's how you be a great example of culture.
Yeah.
Because what you're doing is you're not changing your image, you're not changing your sound, you're changing nothing about yourself. You're just being a better person than you were yesterday, and you're still relatable to your hood. So the contribution you're making is so great. And Chuckie said something interesting. Chuckie said, like, this project right here, we're not seeing, or, you know, you got to see the impact it has on everyday culture and so on and so forth. That will determine. What's difficult for me is that when I take a look at generations that are younger than me, my cousin will behave the same as them. Or I have friends that have sons or whatever. I just see whatever example it is. Although it may not be with me at my age group, I see it day to day because I'm in an environment where loads of those products should exist. And for whatever reason, I don't see that product too often in my neck of the woods. For whatever reason. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Doesn't mean it's not real. It's just not something that I see that frequently. So I always relate to that product moving that much has more to do with the television being on mute, and it's more relatable. Married with good, you know, ability and talent and all of that brings what you have right here. So therefore, the output, the number at the end of it is just confusing because there's so much things to do with that are not culture and that are not even talent. Not to say he doesn't embrace culture and he's not talented, but there's too much information that's got to do with loads of other things that brings it where it is today.
Okay.
That's what makes it confusing. Sorry.
My answer to that question in this case scenario, I would say no, because one thing that I've noticed in this situation, I've seen so many people from older generation really embrace him
100%.
and this. So I don't think that it's that. I think if anything, yeah, sometimes like when you get a little bit older, you stay in the things that resonate with you, and you respect the younger lot doing their thing. So that's why for me, it's like, I don't look at some of the stuff that is happening from different generations and say, that's shit. I just say some of it is not my thing. This is my thing. Do you know what I'm saying? But I can still respect this though. I can still respect it. Or I can still objectively say, I think that's shit. It's not that I'm saying that what the generation is doing is shit. I just might not just like that. But I think that we're at a stage now where people from my generation and maybe even a little older are looking at like pockets of the younger generation and really, really encouraging it and showing it some type of love. I don't think that people can turn around so much and say, this one doesn't do that and this one don't embrace. These lot have been really on that. I think the other conversation has been more of a grime thing because they were talking about all of the separations in generations and that there, and that's maybe a different conversation. But I would say from what I've seen in recent time, nah. And again, you know, pushing all of that aside, like, you know, what it's predicted to do and the culture and all of that type of stuff. You know what? A project landed. I listened to it in my car. And I felt like I wanted to listen to it again. Okay. Do you get what I'm saying? And then I felt like that was almost like a soundtrack to my weekend. And that was surprising to me because I would have thought, knowing me, I would have probably have given it a listen. Maybe because of obviously I rate Bello, innit? So I would have just listened to it off the back of that. And also I do like Central. I think Central is good.
Central can spit, bro.
Yeah. I think Central's good. I would have given it a listen and I think that I would have probably said, you know what he has delivered is objectively good, but it's just not for me. That's what I thought I would have said. Right. But when I listened to it, I was like, I actually like this. Like, do you get what I'm saying? I actually like this. It's made me, and this is really genuine. I never have felt like, you know what? Like, I really want to go to a Central show unless the opportunity provides itself, because obviously I'd still like to see him live. There wasn't an eager to see it, but after listening to that, I want to go and see how that looks like in the arena. I want to do that. Do you get what I'm saying? I want to do that.
He done a shout out to him. He done a show at Coco's. I think AG was there as well.
Yeah.
Right, Hcpod.
It's a fan thing.
One thing I would say about Central, this guy is unapologetically British. Like,
man.
When I heard him on that feature on the J. Cole project, like, He absolutely. First of all, he bodies his verse. Can't lie.
Yeah.
He bodies his verse on that J. Cole song with Bass. But on top of that, he just sounds so British. Like everything about him is just so London centric. But it's not. It's more London centric than it is culturally for me, if that makes any sense.
I got you. Yeah, I got you.
But it is very London.
Yeah.
Like I can never say it's not London.
Yeah.
But it is almost like a London starter pack. Do you know what I mean? Rather than something a little bit more specific, just for me.
Yeah.
But in terms of the job that he needs to do to be him, man can't do it like him.
Yeah.
Honestly, man can't do it like him, bro.
I like him, man.
He's
a good guy as well.
and he's bare normal.
Yeah, proper.
Just bare normal. Like
And
no,
could I be honest with you? From my encounters with him, you see all of this number stuff. He don't care about that.
he doesn't
He
give
don't
a
care.
shit. Do you know
He's
what I
just
love?
cutting
most?
true.
The biggest.
He's just cutting true.
Do you know the best thing Central Cee's done for me in this whole thing? And I had to go, you're a rude boy. His response to H's diss track.
Yeah.
Because H went crazy.
Yeah, yes.
H went
I wanted
crazy.
to talk about that.
H
Because
went crazy.
I wanted to say something about it, but go on.
Man can't move like H didn't go crazy.
Nah, H went bonkers.
And do you know what his response was to H going crazy?
Fire.
Fair enough.
There. Fire.
Brother,
Yeah.
I just said, because I don't know Central, but that response seemed far too genuine for
I'll
me.
give the backstory on that a bit, yeah. So obviously, in a bar, I don't know what the song is. Is it Up North? I can't remember which rhythm it is. Sorry if I got it wrong,
It
innit?
wasn't up north.
But it's where he basically says he felt like a idiot. He went to the Brits and whatever, and then they gave the award to H. Yeah? And I remember
when he won the award though.
I remember I went to the after party, Move Good, Manny Norte's thing or whatnot, yeah. And I remember, if I'm being honest, I'm sorry everyone, but I noticed that there was something that was feeling weird in the room.
Everyone was upset that H won.
Yeah, there was something that was feeling weird in
Everyone
the room.
was.
Yeah. But I think what didn't help it, yeah, was that Clint was evidently livid. And he was on internet saying stuff, yeah. And obviously people was on the internet just saying stuff or whatever. So I know that the moment that Sench said H in any way, shape or form,
He was ready.
H was saying, all right, ready. This was the day I'm going in the booth and I'm letting it off. And he did. And he actually did.
He went so
But
mad.
you can't rap with H on the microphone, you know.
H is,
H
from
is a
grime.
madman on the
He
microphone.
went crazy. But do you know what's so mad? Because he only gave a line and he didn't give much away, when you do that whole track and then a man says Fez,
Yeah.
optically, without listening to the track and all of that, optically, it is absolutely hilarious to
It
me.
is.
It's hilarious. I'm like, Central, you're too hilarious. But credit to H though, he went crazy.
He did. And my prediction is, though, Sench is going to say something again now. That's my prediction. But this is when I think he's going to say it. Once everything is settled, because obviously everyone's still doing the first week numbers and this, that, and whatever. Once that's done, and there's just a little bit more time, he's probably going to drop a freestyle. Not for H, but he'll do that. Because every once in a while he does that. He'll probably be outside a car or just be outside somewhere. You know what I mean? His hair won't be half braided. And he'll just be saying some shit and then there'll be a next line. That's my prediction.
Second song.
Honestly,
Second song in. Oh, 5
I'll be
star.
real. H might be a little bit upset though, because think about it. He's the cool Cajun, and Central Cee ain't all the way black, if anything black. He's now the cool Cajun.
But don't you
better
also
looking,
think- don't
he
you
gets,
think-
probably gets more gal?
Yeah.
He's more with the clothing. He's more swaggy. He's doing up and taking the, because obviously when you do the commercial thing, it's about the crown. And I just think if H at one point had the crown, Central's comfortably got it now. Do you know what I'm saying? In terms of, because this is white on white crime. I love white on white crime. Take a little break from black on black. The white on white crime is hilarious. And in this stage of white on white crime, if I was a right MC rapper that cared about that white on white crime, I'm looking at Central Cee and I'm saying, there is no way I'm surpassing this guy. Like, there's no way. If you are any white rapper up and coming right now, I know you probably look at Central Cee and say, but in no coming moons are you going to be bigger than Central Cee. I just thought I'd let you know in a cardigan with a little scarf around my neck.
Angel's advocate, though.
Go on.
Could it not be like a bit of therapy for H, though? Because, like,
Both
I
could
know
be
that you're
true.
saying that, but it's like, if something is, I'm not saying it's weighing heavy on a man's shoulders, but it's irking you a little bit, innit?
But
Just
why
a
is it
little
irking
bit.
you?
So now
But why?
I've won the thing, and there's just bare distaste in people's mouths and that. So obviously, Central said my name. Let me just say what I need to say, and now I'll feel alright for it now.
Yeah,
Because I've got it off my chest now.
Still white on
Basically,
white crime.
huh?
Still white on white crime.
Yeah. I'm just,
They tried it before with H and RD. They're like, no, we're sticking together.
I'm just
Couldn't catch them
making
two in a
more
room
saying
together,
because I can't remember how you said it, but it was like H might still feel something, and I'm like, but
Of course he does. That's
I'm saying once you get it off, don't you get in the like when you get in the booth and you get it off, ain't you feeling better for that now?
When a man responds, fairs. Nah.
Do you know what it's like? You know what it's like? You confront your brethren or your girl about something now, yeah, because you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then she's just like, well,
I'll give you an example.
no, this is what she could do. No, I don't really agree, but all right, cool.
I'll give you an example of this with this.
You're
It's
like,
happened
what?
in real life because I know exactly what you're saying. In 2011, 2012, Reggie H used to throw these bad boy parties.
Yeah, what were they called again?
I can't remember what they were called, but this is before we got the Reggie H we get today. This boy was cheeky.
Pure cheeky, you know.
He was fam.
He's
Reggie
cheeky.
H was cocky, bro.
Yeah.
He was cocky.
He was.
Cocky, my guy.
Yeah.
So he used to throw these bad boy parties, yeah.
Wreckfest?
Nah.
And he threw it, and then I think he advertised on Twitter he's going or something like that. And I can't remember how on social media the interaction went, but Mitch must have alluded to the fact that he was going to the party, and Reggie H was like, "Oh, is it?" It was that type of. I'm paraphrasing here. So Mitch must have been like, "Is it?" You ain't like Reggie H like, "Oh, are you going?" Anyway, he got into the party. Mitch went up to him like, "Oh, I told you I'll get in." Reggie H was like, "Yeah, cool," and walked off. Now, like,
That's not the response you want.
that's not the response. They say what you want. Like, I know that's not what. I thought a man might have been like, all right, you got me, or something just to play the mood. But to just dismiss it off like
No,
that.
that's not what you want. You want
How
nothing.
greedy.
You want nothing, or you want smoke back.
My guy, you know.
You want nothing, or you want smoke. You kind of want to know that it's disrupted.
It's
the boat
bothered
in
you a
some
bit.
way. Yeah.
Don't try and be cool as a cucumber.
Man said his ex thing looked like his cousin.
Who said that?
He said that.
Oh, when he said these ex thing looked like his cousin. Brother, my belly.
Hey, I've seen that bare times though, where a man's gal looks like it could be their cousin.
Oh,
I've
man.
seen that
That's
bare
why
times.
it never happens to me.
What?
Is that like semi-narcissism?
Yeah, it is. When your gal looks like you, that's crazy.
I've seen couple couples that look like each other. And I'm just
Yes.
like, you know, you lot are gonna have ugly kids.
Yeah.
What did you say? Yes, well, don't say things like that. You don't know. You haven't seen the child. But ugly kids.
That's hilarious.
So I don't know, man. I just.
Hey, talking of that, just very quickly,
But
I want to wrap up.
before we go.
Ugly kids.
Shout out white on white crime.
Yeah, of
Long
course.
may it continue, and let's bring out some
Long
type
may
of
it
trident
continue.
for them as well. Not only are they appearing at football matches and fighting before and after, but they're also violent within music as well. H and Central Cee got me extremely scared. I'm scared for my well-being.
Big up Sense though. Definitely big up Sense. Big up Bello.
And big up
And
H,
I do,
man.
and it also it has inspired me. I do want to bring back the checkup at some point. But anyway, quickly,
Yeah, please
because
do.
I wanna just wrap this. Yeah, Potter, like, because while we're here, obviously Potter, he got engaged to his girl.
Did he?
Yeah,
Come on.
big him up,
We're rating that.
Big moves.
big him up. Honorable shout out to Potter.
Come on, Potter, man. Settle down season, man.
But couple of the sides have stepped out on a vibe of you what?
What sides?
Huh?
Not the chips.
Yeah,
Not the
Nah.
mashed
they've
potatoes.
stepped out on a vibe of what? You're
Sweet
doing
corn.
what?
Everything.
The garlic peas.
Everything.
Don't tell me
Yeah.
the garlic bread because that is when it gets tricky.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Both sides cooked.
Do you know
We
what?
say
though?
halloumi. He said the halloumi. The two sides of halloumi just came out.
What do you think about that, Chucks? I think everyone's selfish.
I don't have the context, so I don't know what he's told his gal and all of that. Yeah, but the bigger point that I wanted to, because just so it's clear, basically they've stepped out on the vibe of what? That's not what you told me. You said that you was gonna do it to me. You was gonna give it to me. That's what's basically happened. Yeah, but he I'm predicting don't give a shit. Reason being why I'm predicting he don't give a shit is because he picked the one he wanted. Yeah? And that's just that. Right? You got to just take that one to the bank and charge it. All right? So, but what I wanted to bring up though, yeah.
That's true. I'm sorry. I'm with you.
Yeah, it's like, bro, okay, cool. I might have said that, but you know what? I was juggling a couple, but this is what I've realized this is what I want. This is the one I've decided I'm going for. And that's that. Now, look, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that that's just obviously what's happened. Now, what I'm saying is, this was a conversation I had with somebody before where she was saying, I can't remember exactly how she put it, but it was along the lines of, it's hard sometimes for a woman to be able to differentiate whether a man is taking them serious or not, because they sometimes seem to do the same thing both sides. Do you get what I mean? So it's like, what they might do for the side is what they might do if they were taking you really, really serious. So how would a woman be able to differentiate whether a man really, really likes you or not, or whether he's actually just a quick thing, chop, like here for the moment?